What's good, guys? Akeal Senpai here. We're back with another YouTube video. And today we're doing anime video. So today we're going to be talking about the anime that is widely known right now, that seems to be really hyped up, is Fire Force. And in this video we're going to be talking about if it is overhyped or is it not. And in this video I'll just be giving out a little disclaimer that I've only watched about 4 episodes of this so far. There's not really many episodes for me to watch right now. I know the manga is ongoing. This is one of the newest shonen anime out right now that is getting a lot of buzz, and you know, honestly, I like it so far. I really do like it. It took a little while for me to you know, get attached to it and everything like that, but once I started to get into it and the plot started to grow a little more, I'm really liking it a lot. It's a lot different than, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a lot different than a lot of other shonen anime, considering that the whole premise is for the main character to be a hero, which is kind of, I mean, it sounds like a lot of other shonen anime that are out right now and have come out in the past.
Believe it.
But other than that, Shinra is a really cool character. He's a lot different than a lot of other shonen anime in the aspect that, you know, whenever he's nervous, he actually smiles, and this actually kind of makes it difficult for me in the anime just a little bit, you know, during certain situations, whether it be a fight or anything like that. Is he actually nervous that he's fighting, or is he actually like smirking or anything like that? And that's what kind of makes it a little confusing, but I guess that's what some people enjoy about the character overall. But as far as the plot, what is the plot of the story?
Listen.
Getting into the story, just kind of summing it up really quick, without having too many spoilers or anything like that, because some of you guys may be new watching this. Fire Force is essentially an anime, a shonen anime, where the premise is that there's these random fires everywhere because there are a bunch of people that are essentially combusting, and you know, when they combust they actually become like a fire entity or something like that. But with that being said, this happens unwillingly a lot of times, and because of that there's like people in public, you know, blowing up or whatever, or just like shooting out flames or anything like that, and some of them may not be too conscious while doing this, some of them are, and that's kind of like the whole premise. The whole premise is you guys following, you know, this fire squad or whatever you want to call it, and there's different branches and everything in it, like there's different units and everything like that. And one thing that we touched on episode 4 anyways, is the conflict between the different units that I feel like is going to start, you know, presenting itself as the anime progresses a little bit more. So that first generation is actually called the Infernals, and there's actually 3 other generations, and after looking it up, we obviously did not get into that, the 4th generation, within the 4th episode, but I believe that's going to be a thing later on as the show goes on. I didn't spoil myself and I didn't look up what that was, so I will not be talking about that in this video here. Perhaps in some future videos, but not this one. This is just my little take on it so far, and what I think of it, and if it's overhyped or not so far. And with that being said, there is a 2nd generation and there is a 3rd generation. Now, I already explained what the 1st generation was, and those are Infernals. They're usually not conscious of what they're doing or anything like that, but they still have control of fire, kind of. And for the 2nd generation actually has control of fire as well. The only difference between the 2nd generation and the others is the fact that with the 2nd generation, they can only control fire that was already, I guess, like ignited with something else. They can't ignite their own fire. And you know, although this does seem kind of bland to a lot of guys just from listening, a lot of other characters within the show have their own characters based on this aspect, whether it be that they're like some kind of, and this is all pyrokinesis, but whether they're like some kind of fire mage or anything like that, whether they have I don't know, anything of the sort. Like, I know one character is able to have like cat-like powers or something like that, but like with fire and everything like that, somebody could like conjure like balls out of fire, and it's like living ball entities of fire and everything like that. And that's just the 2nd generation. And getting into the 3rd generation, the 3rd generation actually has the power to and is actually kind of seen so far into the show as one of the most powerful generations so far. And the generation is able to ignite their own fire, and they're able to, have their own abilities based on that aspect, which is very, very powerful, considering they don't need a second-hand person to ignite their own fire. And, when it comes to the second generation, they're actually able to use the third generation's fire that they ignited as well, or conjured up, and use it for their own benefit, thus making it a benefit for them fighting a third generation, because they're able to control their flames. But with the third generation, Shinra in this situation, who is the main character of the show, we see right off the bat that he has he's pretty much like Johnny from Fantastic Four, pretty much, except he's not fully engulfed in flames. He can shoot fire, and with this being said, he's able to kind of fly and everything like that. And this is really, really cool in my opinion. I think it's one of the dopest powers so far. And another one of the main characters are also a third generation is actually Arthur as well, who is also a Firewatch Squad member as well. He's also kind of like the rival of Shinra. I don't believe he's able to shoot not shoot fire like obviously Shinra does. But what he does, he has his Excalibur blade. He has a blade, it's like a plasma sword, and he's able to use that. And I think that's lit too. Zero from was that Mega Man? I think that's lit. But other than that, let's get back into the plot just a little bit deeper into who is Shinra. And Shinra obviously he's trying to redeem himself like every other shonen main character anime who has some kind of bad history or anything like that. And this bad history happens while he was growing up, when he, I guess, pretty much found out about his powers and everything like that. And this overall resulted in him being known as a devil, and not to mention he does have kind of a weird smile that is kind of weird, let alone the red eyes and everything like that. But going ahead with that, there's something had happened where he actually was believed to have blown up his house, kind of, or set it in flames, thus killing his mother and his brother. And he actually didn't do this, but people believe that he did. Thus he's being called a devil and everything like that. But he's trying to redeem himself and actually be a hero. He doesn't believe he actually did it. And later come to find out, and they don't really touch on this yet, in episode 4, his brother is still alive somehow, some way. And that may be a spoiler for the new people that are watching, but it's really not, honestly. It's really, really early in the series, so they don't really talk much more about that. But I'm sure later on, as the show progresses, it will talk about that. But so far, the main protagonist seems to be the people that are randomly catching in flames and everything like that. And then as we get to episode 4, we see that the other units, like this one's, we're following Unit 5. Unit 5 is the main one. Unit 8 seems to be, there's going to be some kind of conflict between that one and Unit 5 and Unit 8. And who's to say that there aren't more units that actually have a similar mindset? And I say they have a conflict because Unit 8 seems to be kind of like the most rogue one, or kind of out there, that actually seems like they don't really seem to have the best intentions at hand. And we kind of get a little glimpse of this because in episode 3, I believe it was, or episode 2, we come to find out that the Fire Force, whole thing has multiple parts to it, and some people go rogue and some people are kind of seen as bad people, but because they're part of the Fire Force, they actually get off, in convictions or anything like that. And this actually leads to a whole bigger problem where some people in the world don't like the Fire Force, but some of them obviously do respect them because of, some of the good units like Unit 5. And, with all this being said, this was just a quick little summary of what, was going on in the show so far up to episode 4. And obviously I'm going to keep on watching this show. But do I think this show is overhyped so far? Probably a little bit, considering the beginning. I remember this show was really overhyped in the beginning. But seeing at where it's at right now, obviously it has, I believe, over 13 episodes. people are still saying it's a lot better or probably good. I think it might not be overhyped. I think there's a lot of potential with this anime. There's a lot of stuff that they can introduce in this thing. It's a lot different than a lot of other shonen anime in some aspects, considering the powers and everything that a lot of people have. It's really kind of different. And something I forgot to add was when the Fire Force is actually hunting down the when the Fire Force is hunting down the Infernos, at least in Unit 5, they're really respectful about the whole thing and everything like that. And with that being said, they actually have a separate member within the group too that does prayers and everything like that to help put the souls to rest and everything like that. And I think that's really different. But what I really think is going to be interesting is seeing a lot of the other units, what they do, how they handle things, if they even show that perspective and everything like that. And we get another character inside of the show who obviously knows more information about Shinra's brother still being alive, but they still didn't touch more on that. And we see he's going to be some kind of trouble later on using I can't even talk about that right now. I'm not trying to spoil. This is just a quick little summary, but yeah, just with that in mind, there's a lot of potential with this show. There's a lot of things that I know can be added. I know there's a lot more to it, considering that I know that there's now a 4th generation, yet I still don't know what that is. And as far as this being overhyped, I don't think it is. I'm gonna be fair, and we're gonna make a follow-up video later on, maybe 30 episodes in. We'll see how far it goes, you know, until I make a second video on Fire Force. But so far it is really good in comparison to a lot of other good ongoing animes, such as Demon Slayer, or I wouldn't even say JoJo is on. Well, it's kind of ongoing. It's just taking a little break right now. Would I say it's up there with the start? I don't think it's really up there yet, but I can say that it can get really good. I think it can get as good as Demon Slayer, considering that is one of the other very new animes out right now that has blown up. So we will see where this goes. But do I recommend you guys watch it? For sure, I recommend you guys watch this anime. Again, it does have a lot of similar, although it does have a lot of similar qualities to a lot of other shonen anime, it does have a lot of different aspects as well, which is something I like a lot. And you know, it's a different plot, and once again, has a lot of potential. Anyways, that was my video on this episode of is it overhyped or not? Fire Force. I believe you guys should watch it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Should be anime related. If not, this is going to be something else. It's going to be self-improvement related, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.